I'm Rachel Horgan. Join me each episode as I sit down with a guest co-host covering the latest business stories in the Seattle area. We'll read the news so you don't have to. This is The Weekly. Hello, everybody. I am recording here back in my living room, back where it all began. And a quick announcement about the podcast. I think I've kind of alluded to this where we're going to do a couple more solo episodes, a couple more episodes with friends, a couple special episodes. And I am going to go into bi-weekly, so every other week with an episode. And I've been doing my bad stand-up joke is that the podcast is questioning its sexuality. It's bi now. It's bi-weekly just for the summer. When I started this, I was unemployed, and I think many people know. Then I had one client, which was, kind of 30 hours a week. So it was much more manageable, but I really want to focus on growing, RC productions and putting a lot of time and energy into that. So I'm not going away. I'm still doing it. We still got some really fun guests coming up, but I think for the summer, we'll just go every other, as I said, there's not a ton of business news over the summer. And that's my update. So sitting across from me in my living room is, you know her, you love her, Sarah Donaldson, Director of Sales Planning for SkinnyDipped. Hello.
Hi, Rachel. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you recognize that voice, you were on our 1-year anniversary episode. Yes. And I didn't introduce your title because we were just shooting the shit on that one. So I wanted people to know that you do have a job. You are in the corporate America world. Can you tell us a little bit more about the origin of SkinnyDipped?
Sure. I would like to think that a lot of people wrote in after that and they just requested me to come back on the show, but we'll go with this.
No, sorry. Did I not say that at the beginning? Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
So yes, I'm the Director of Sales Planning at SkinnyDipped Almonds. SkinnyDipped, a lot of people don't know, is a local company. It's a mother-daughter founded company here in Seattle. Our office is over in Ballard, starting in Wallingford in their kitchen. And we basically make better for you snacks without losing that amazing flavor and taste that you sometimes lose when you get better for you snacks. So we have almonds and cashews and chocolate peanut butter cups and new coconut almond bites and a lot of different things down the pipeline coming up. Very exciting.
And you'll probably recognize it because they got into Starbucks. You got into Starbucks this year, right? That was a big move for the company.
The coconut almond bites. Yep. Our nuts have been in there for about over 2 years. But our new bites definitely just came out. Yeah.
So, there's all those memes and jokes of what does my friend do at work? So I think I kind of know, but for other people, what is a director of sales planning? Because it's obviously different than director of sales.
Sure. So basically, I do all the forecasting for the sales team. So when they get into a new customer, I have to do all of the demand planning forecasting for them to decide how many we're going to produce to get to that retailer, as well as any trade budgets. So if you see us on sale of 2 for $8, I'm doing all the budget and forecasting for that. And then I also like to say I'm the herder of cats. Since it is a still small company, we all wear a lot of many hats. So any new product launches, et cetera, kind of doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's been really fun. I've been there for 7 years. So we went from a very small company to much larger now, and it's just been really fun to see the growth and be a part of it throughout the time.
Totally. I remember there's one time we were working remote, I think in Palm Springs, and we all were doing calls, and I overheard yours being so about the caramel, what we need with the peanut butter, and I was we have such different jobs.
It's so true.
Thank you for sharing all that. But yeah, on this episode, we're not going to dive too deep into your work world. You're really here to just shoot the shit with me and explain the articles that we read.
Sounds great.
But before we get into that, you had a birthday recently.
Did.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
How was it?
It was fantastic. It was just went to a local brewery, Yonder, which I know you've had Caitlin on a few times, and just got to see some friends. And then you and I went and did something that I felt like we were 18 again and got second holes pierced.
On our ears. Yes, our second hole ear pierce. It was so fun. If you guys haven't done it, we went to Studs in Capitol Hill. Yes. That was recommended a lot to us. It is pricey, I'll say, $250 for everything, all included. But I feel cool now. So
I know. I feel the technology has come a long way since we used to go to Claire's back when we were 10 years old.
Yeah, I do think it's safer for us. Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we get into it?
It was great. Thanks.
Okay. All right. We've got 5 stories we're going to recap for you. We read the news, so you don't have to. I'll talk about the queer bar being sold. Sarah's going to talk about some World Cup stuff. And then I'll talk about Walrus and Carpenter employees striking. Then Sarah will share more about the Bed Bath & Beyond reopening. And I'll close us out with a venue almost sinking. Wild.
Crazy.
Okay, so Queer Bar, we'll bring this in because it is Pride Month. But after Pride this year, Queer Bar in Capitol Hill, owned by Joey Burgess and Murph Hall, that's going to be sold to the owners of the Cuff Complex. And oddly enough, the cuff was sold. The same thing happened. Joey Burgess and Murph Hall owned the cuff and sold it to these people, and now they own Queer Bar and selling it to the same people, if that makes sense. The Queer Bar became a venue for a lot of the drag shows. And so I don't watch RuPaul Drag's Race, but I know it's huge. And the article was saying there's 4 recent queens, Bosco, Irene the Alien, are already, and Jane Don't, I know that one, have gone on to compete on the show. So it's really cool that, from Seattle's queer bar scene all the way on to that big show. So the performers, what the article was talking about is that now with this change in management, they're not sure if the shows will continue. They're not sure if they want to work with this new management. And so the question was, is drag kind of leaving Capitol Hill because of this closure?
Yeah, I was very sad to read that, actually. I've been here about 8 years, and I think it was one of those things that I've heard such great things about the drag shows, and it was one of those, I'll go next time, I'll go next summer, and I just never got around to it, so I was very sad about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have
hope they come back.
3 days.
3 days, okay.
To do it.
I think this weekend I'll be staying away from Capitol Hill just because of...
Right, it'll be busy.
Crazy busy, yes.
Yeah, I will be staying in Capitol Hill the whole weekend, yeah. Okay, Sarah, there's 2 articles I sent you about the World Cup. Why don't you fill me in on what you read?
Yes, I was very excited to read these. So basically it was saying that fever is up in Seattle for World Cup, but ironically flights to Seattle were down.
Fever is up, flight is down.
Flight is down, exactly. We were the only city that was hosting a U.S. Or a World Cup game that was declining year over year, which I found very interesting. Visit Seattle projected $845 million to King County, which was down from their 2024 prediction of $930 million just in revenue for King County. And I was, looking kind of into that and tried to think of something because I like to compare it to what I know. And I went to the Taylor Swift concert a few years ago at Lumen Field. Yeah. And I know that grossed more revenue than the MLB All-Star game that was the week before. And Taylor was only here for 2 days. I couldn't get any exact numbers of what Taylor brought in. I know it was like $7 million for one night of hotels. But just to compare to that, like World Cup's over 3 weeks. So you can see that that's going to generate a lot of revenue for Seattle, which I thought was exciting. And you and I actually both went to Pioneer Square last Friday. We did not go into the game, but we did go to a fun pop-up bar. And it was just electric down there. I just felt like the crowds and everyone around was just in such a good mood. A little intoxicated, but everyone was in a good mood, which was nice. And the article went on to say that we have the best atmosphere that they're saying for the World Cup. Basically because we have those watch parties down by the waterfront, and then you can just march right down to the field. Whereas somewhere as like New York, it's in New Jersey. But they were saying the flights might have been down due to the fact that we are kind of up here on our own. Whereas like if you go to New York to go to that game, you can go to a Philly game. You can take the train up to Boston and see a World Cup game. So it's a little more isolated. We do have Vancouver close, but Canadian tourism is down is what the article stated. The dollar is really strong right now. So they're just stating that it was like expensive for global tourists. And the last piece that I found interesting, and I know there was a lot of things in there, but I did not know that we, Visit Seattle quoted that we basically paid for marketing in countries prior to we knew who was coming to play in Seattle. So we could have been playing, marketing in the UK, in India, and they didn't come play here. So, but you have to kind of budget ahead of time. So that's interesting. Is another reason.
Yeah, what stood out to me was the flights are down almost 21% year over year. Yeah. That's significant, especially with this huge of an event. And to your point about the Canadian tourism, that kind of made sense to me when I read that we obviously are getting a lot less, and that's what a lot of Seattle counts on. Right. So I also want to say, I don't know, I think it's probably algorithm, but like everything I'm seeing is like Seattle's the best everywhere.
That is true.
But the article did say that The Athletic voted, I guess, Seattle Stadium, Lumen Field, the best 2026 stadium. And we've said this on the podcast before, but we are one of the few cities that has our stadium in the downtown. And like you said, we were down there. It was electric. There was this huge crowd marching to the stadium. Yeah. It was very, very cool.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll just continue tourism after people hear how great it was.
I know, for real.
Post-World Cup.
Anything else on that?
No, that was it.
Okay. All right.
Go USA Today, by the way. I know we're recording on Thursday, so.
I know. I hope they win.
I know.
Let's put it out in the universe.
Okay.
All right, the next one is Walrus and Carpenter. So Renee Erickson has gotten kind of been in the news a lot, and I was trying to do a deep dive on like what exactly is going on. But Renee Erickson is part of Sea Creatures, and that might sound familiar to you because they are behind the opening of those 3 concepts in Pioneer Square by Railspur. So Lowlander Brewing, Un Poughkeepsie, and Mio O Mio. But you also might recognize Westward, General Porpoise, Deep Dive, and just a ton more. So what's been going on over the past year is that the employees have been trying to negotiate and unionize, and this happened after she introduced a service charge fee model. Not uncommon for some of these restaurants because they're dealing with high labor charges, the increase in minimum wage, people are just trying new things. But that was what I could see why this all started. So over the course of the year, they're trying to negotiate. They don't land on an agreement, and so the employees strike. Mm-hmm. Then the article says because of this strike, they had to close down on Monday because they were saying, Sea Creatures was saying that the diners are being harassed as they come into the restaurant. Obviously, when they asked the union rep, they said, we don't know what you're talking about. That's not happening. He said, she said kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It was closed for like a couple days and it's going to reopen on Wednesday. It's not like closed permanently, but it is interesting. I don't really have a take, and that's just because I would like to know the actual details. Like, how much are they exactly getting paid? How much is the service fee? What's the difference? I want to know all and you as a sales planning person probably also want to know the numbers. But did you have an opinion on this?
Yeah, reading that, I have no idea what it's like to be in that industry anymore. I was trying to think back. My last waitressing job was when I was 18, I would say. It was a very stressful job, so I can understand. But I give them a lot of credit. I haven't been in a long time. I do feel reading the article that like yelling at patrons as they're going in. I mean, this is in my backyard. I live in Ballard. My office is just down the street. I feel that's like a bit of a stretch though, if that is true. So I don't know. I can't be mad that they shut down to kind of like regroup, hopefully, and realign and come to some sort of agreement on it. But without knowing, the logistics of what's going on behind the scenes, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I looked at Reddit and a lot of people are kind of just jumping on based on like not a lot of facts, kind of like, these servers are entitled, they're already getting paid a lot, or this restaurant treats them badly. It's like, okay, but what are you going off of? I want to know the facts.
Reddit isn't facts? That's interesting. Okay.
Well, and I also wish that the reporting from Seattle Times and all the people reporting could get that. And maybe they can't get that information, but I wish they would have included that.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
Sure. So the article
Tell me about Bed Bath & Beyond.
Last article I read was Bed Bath & Beyond. Basically, it was just to say that they're opening again in Bellevue. It's the first time they're opening since they went bankrupt in 2023. They're going to open 98 total worldwide again. When I was thinking about it, it's really the 20% off blue coupon. I don't know about you, but I can remember just stacking them and having a million of them, I felt like, in my house. And it was one of those stores where you go in for maybe like one thing and you're just walking around and you decide that you need 17 other things for a kitchen that you don't have at the time. So I'm excited for that. It did mention that the coupons are still valid, even though bankruptcy, but only through July 13th. And there's no opening date for the Bellevue one yet. So unless it's going to open in the next day or so, I don't think you're going to be able to use those if people held on to them.
Maybe. Maybe it'll open soon.
Did you shop there?
No, I used to.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I think one of my memory of it is getting my dorm room all set up.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they had the extra long like twin sheets that you needed and like all the storage things.
Risers. Yeah.
Yes.
When I was reading it, I was reminded that Overstock bought Bed Bath & Beyond and it turned it into like Beyond Company. And then they bought the Container Store. So these new stores that they're opening are going to be Bed Bath & Beyond plus the Container Store.
Yes.
Which is a mouthful. But those are going to be kind of these new pop-ups.
Because I think it's going in the location that was the Container Store in Bellevue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
More organized days coming up.
That's right. Okay, the last one is the MV Skinskonia started to sink. So I know this venue. It's, for those that don't know, it's a retired ferry, and it's stationary on Lake Union. It's really beautiful, very cool. And Landmark Event Company operates it. And they operate almost 10 other venues like Fremont Foundry, The Ruins, the former, remember Columbia Winery, how that closed down? Yeah, and now it's Event Space. So Landmark also operates that. Anyway, they call for help. The Seattle Fire Department comes out, and they have this cool tool that pumped 1,500 gallons of water out per minute.
That's crazy.
So they were able to stabilize it. They think that repairs will only take a couple weeks, which that was surprising to me. I don't know anything about a boat, but I would think that it would take longer than a few weeks. Jordan, my friend, runs a wedding planning company, and she said she had couples that have weddings there coming up, and she said that she got a call and they said, yeah, we should be okay. We should be good. So they don't seem like worried that this is going to be, long-term effects. But the owner is still trying to figure out why it sank. So he's sending out divers to see if somebody maybe hit the boat in the middle of the night or what caused
sabotage,
this.
perhaps?
Perhaps. Another
a jilted bride?
I was going to say another event company trying to sink them, but yeah.
Yeah, my questions were, I've never thrown like a big event like that, and I'm not in the industry, so I'd love to know, like, who's on the hook then if you have to reschedule where your venue is? The bride and, well, the couple, or?
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I think with this situation, Landmark owns so many other venues, so they moved some of their couples to some of their other locations, like Fremont Foundry and things like that.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
I would also wonder if they would refund money and then they could use that money to book, what's that other ferry that's out? The Hayu or something like that. But with weddings and Saturdays, like they're going to be booked out for like a year. So I think the best option is just go to one of the other venues.
Yeah.
But it sucks.
That was a sad article to read.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also very ferry forward right now because I just got my little plastic ferry.
Oh, yeah.
That they were selling at T-Mobile and they have not restocked, but they just sold them again on the Bainbridge ferry. So I got one for my birthday last weekend, actually.
T-Mobile Field, for those listening, our
Field,
baseball field. Yeah, they've been giving it out for some of the food. There was an episode, I don't know if you listened to the one Nick did with the secret cocktail thing.
I didn't find the window.
I know where it is, but I haven't gone there yet.
Oh, you have to tell me the secrets.
I will. Okay, Sarah, is there anything else you want to say? This is my birthday present to you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Your listening ship is going to go up in Pennsylvania and Connecticut, where I'm from, because I will send it to all my family.
Please do. Please do. All right, our closing question is, what's something you're not doing anymore? You're stopping doing?
Okay, well, this one is very hard for me because you know me personally, but I'm going to try to stop saying yes to things out of obligation instead of just genuine, interest. But I've printed out one for you. We both carry around in our wallets a little say no checklist. Mm-hmm. And if you do it 10 times, you get a fabulous prize, which I have not.
Don't know yet.
No, none of us have even done one, I don't think. We've had them for a year. So definitely going to say no to things and think more about what I want to actually commit my time to.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because remember there were all those books that was like, my year of yes, or like saying yes to everything. And now we're like, let's say no.
No, do less.
Let's do less. Well, I'm glad you said yes to this podcast. Thank you so much. It's way more fun to do it with a friend than by myself. And as a reminder, we're going to take next week off and we'll be back the following week with some fun stuff. Yeah, thanks again, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me, Rachel.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
You want to go hang out?
Yeah.
This has been The Weekly, with production assistance from Nick Patry. If you liked what you heard, rate us and write a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. We love listener feedback, so if you have any story suggestions, comments, or complaints, email us at info@theweeklyseattle.com. Make sure to check back next Sunday for the latest local business news. We'll see you next time.